Viridian, The Green Guide, by Clouds, My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down, read by Oakshadow 5. Chapter 102, Crash. Summary: Izuku crashes the sports festival. Denki couldn't keep the grin off his face as they went to lunch. The cavalry battle had been so much fun, and he really couldn't wait to hear Izuku's opinion on the whole balloon strategy, because it had seemed really weird at first, but then it had actually worked. He was really going to have to talk to that Hatsume girl about making him some hover boots of his own that would be able to withstand his electricity a little better, assuming that she ever forgave him for almost trashing her old ones. That would be super convenient if he ever partnered up with Uraraka again, or even just for mobility in general, and he might want to see about adding some kind of extension cord weapon while he was at it. That sounded really lame, didn't it? He shook his head as he got his food and turned toward the tables. He only got a few steps before Mineta practically barreled into his legs, Yarozo and Jiro following along behind him. "Hey, Kaminari bro, tell them Aizawa said the girls have to wear the cheerleading uniform as part of the in-between games." "Did he?" Denki looked over at Yarozo and Jiro. "Wow, I'm excited. You guys are gonna look so good in those." "Well, I mean, if it's coming from Aizawa," Yarozo frowned. "I suppose I could create some." "Really?" Jiro wrinkled her nose. "I don't want to wear something so revealing." "I'm sure Aizawa wouldn't mind if you personalized them a bit," Denki shrugged. "If Yarozo's making them, just have her make yours a little longer." "Kaminari!" Mineta hissed. "Don't tell them that!" Denki looked at him in confusion. "Why not? Dude, girls are hottest when they feel like they're rocking their outfit. That's like a provable fact. If a girl doesn't feel hot in a sexy cheerleading outfit, then it's not really sexy, you know?" Jiro smiled slyly. "How much personalization do you think we can pull off?" "I don't know." Yarozo looked insecure. "I mean, the uniforms the actual cheerleaders are wearing are probably up to some sort of regulation standard. But yours are just for fun, so you can probably get away with quite a bit," Denki pointed out. "Plus, that's probably what Aizawa had in mind anyway, because it's a great way to show off the versatility of the quirk to all the heroes watching." Jiro immediately grabbed Yarozo's arm and started pulling her away. "Alright, hear me out. Fishnets. And then maybe raise the neck a little bit?" Yarozo smiled and nodded. "I can do that. I could probably make some synthetic leather belts as well, if you'd like. If the goal is to show versatility, it might be best to showcase different materials." "What about chains?" Denki grinned as he watched them leave, and turned back to Mineta, who was staring up at him with tears in his eyes. "I'm never going to forgive you, not ever!" He ran away as Denki just tilted his head. "What?" Dabi couldn't believe he'd let Kachan talk him into this. He was surrounded by so many heroes, all dressed up in bright colors and showing off their perfect strong quirks and building their stupid legacies. It was nauseating. But where the company had been terrible, the experience hadn't been all bad. He got to watch Shoto compete, and lose, which was both absolutely hilarious and less satisfying than he'd expected. While it was great watching his father's perfect masterpiece come second place to Kachan, he'd been hoping that watching the kid lose would be like watching his old man lose, which was some well-deserved karma. But Shoto was an endeavor. He was his own person, something that Dabi had apparently been too angry to realize while the bastard of a dad was still alive, and when he was destroying those robots or fighting that electricity kid, Dabi didn't see endeavor. He just saw a sad, angry kid who was trying to be seen for who he was and take out a little anger on the world. He saw himself, and that pissed him off. Which was why he was currently slipping through the back towns of the stadium. If he stayed around the stupid shallow heroes, he was seriously going to torch something, so, yeah, searching for someplace with a bit more peace and quiet was a good idea. "And just where do you think you're going?" Dabi groaned as a pair of heroes blocked his path. "Away from idiots like you. Got a problem with you?" A big guy who he thought was called Death Arms crossed his arms. "Yes, actually, considering that these are the student preparation areas." Dabi rolled his eyes. "Are they really?" The other hero, a wood guy that would probably be a lot of fun to torch if Dabi ever felt like crossing the line into actual murder, stepped up behind him. "Yes, so unless you are visiting a relative, I'd suggest you turn around and go back." "I am." The words were out before he could stop them, and he cursed internally as Death Arms looked him up and down skeptically. "And who would a homeless-looking guy like you even be visiting? That brainwashing kid from Janet or something?" "No." Dabi stood up to his full height, more angry now than anything else. He wasn't about to let another hero make him cower. Never again. I am here to visit my little brother, Shoto Todoroki. It took Izuku a minute to find the door Eraser had said to go in, but it was already unlocked for him, which meant that Nezu had probably already gotten involved. He didn't know whether that was a good or a bad thing, considering that the only plan he had at the moment was a nebulous, half-baked tangle of quirk theories that he'd come up with after running out the door. All he could do was hope that would be enough. Instead of going straight to the prep room to meet Eraserhead, not that Izuku would actually know where that was anyway, Izuku made his way toward where the students would be coming back after lunch. He'd been checking his notifications as much as possible while running here, mostly to keep an eye on Queen Bee's host, but getting to see the pictures and memes of Denki's team winning the cavalry battle was a nice side effect. He'd seen that there was going to be a break before the third round, which meant that at least some of the students, including Denki, should be wandering the tunnels by this time, which meant that now it was just a trick of finding the ones he needed while keeping out of sight of the ones he wanted to avoid. I didn't think you were allowed back here. Izuku froze at the vaguely familiar voice and turned around slowly, grimacing as he recognized Tsuyu Asui, wearing a version of the UA cheer uniform he'd never seen before. He may have already changed into his full vigilante gear, but if his getup hadn't fooled Kachan, there was no way it was going to fool Tsu, not if she was anywhere near as astute as her parents seemed to be. Izuku was still about 87% sure that they knew he was the vigilante that had saved them. He gave her an awkward smile and waved. Hi? I didn't know you were on the cheer team. Tsu frowned. I'm not. A few of our classmates decided to play a prank on the girls. I'm just glad Momo made mine a one-piece. Well, Izuku didn't quite know what to say, but if all the girls were wearing them, that would make the invisible girl a little easier to find. It looks good? Tsu just looked at him blankly. Do the heroes know you're back here? Some of them? Izuku swallowed. Well, I mean, Eraser knows, and I think Nezu does too, but I don't want anyone else knowing. It's, kinda important that certain people don't know I'm here, if you know what I mean. Tsu raised an eyebrow. Because of your identity? No. Izuku took a deep breath and met her gaze. Because if the wrong people get word that I'm here right now and figure out why, someone might die. Tsu's eyes widened marginally, but then she nodded. Then maybe I can help. Who are you looking for? Izuku's jaw dropped and he had to shake himself out of his shock before Tsu had a chance to change her mind. I'm looking for Denki Kaminari. Seriously? Death Arms looked him over for what felt like the millionth time, and it was really starting to piss Dabi off. You're one of Endeavor's kids. What? I don't look like the living embodiment of daddy issues? Dabi grinned sharply. When's that tree boy coming back anyway? Soon, and then we'll see if you're actually telling the truth, Death Arms said. Think your baby brother will actually recognize you? If Dabi was being honest, then no. There was no way Shoto would recognize him. His hair was different, not to mention the scars and the fact that they hadn't seen each other in 10 years, but a part of him really hoped the kid would recognize him by some miracle, just to stick it to these morons who thought they had any right to judge him and his family. It wasn't gonna happen, but it was a fun fantasy, just like this old one's of killing his dad. He needed something to get him through the day, right? Kamui Woods ran at the corner. I got him. Fucking finally, Dabi muttered. So, moment of truth, right? Shoto came around the corner. So, you're the one claiming to be my dead brother? Dabi rolled his eyes. Oh, come off your high horse. Kachan said you already figured out I was alive. He failed to mention you'd gotten annoying, though. Shoto gave a barely there smile and turned to the heroes. Yes, this is my brother Toya. Thank you for your help, but we'll be going now. Dabi barely held back a snort at the heroes' shocked faces and flipped them off as he followed Shoto back into the tunnels. Apparently, miracles did exist. Not that that wasn't spectacular, Dabi said after they turned the corner. But how do you know it's actually me? I could just be any homeless dude pretending to be your brother for the money or something. And don't pretend like you actually recognize me, because I know you don't. Shoto looked over at him, and there was an amused twinkling in his eye. Kachan referred to you as Scarface. I think it's fairly obvious why. That asshole, Dabi growled. I swear, I'm gonna. So, why now? Shoto asked. Why come visit me now when you could have come by for dinner any time? Your family, Toya. I'm sure Fuyumi still remembers your favorites. My favorites have changed in the past 10 years, twerp, Dabi huffed. So have I. I am not the hero hopeful weird man raised anymore. I go by Dabi now. Shoto looked him up and down. It fits. Thanks, Dabi said dryly. I'm so excited to have your approval. Shoto raised an eyebrow. You're welcome. Dabi turned away. This was so awkward. So, you've gotten pretty good with your eyes and stuff. I bet Mom's proud. Shoto shrugged. I wouldn't know. I haven't really seen her since. He gestured vaguely to his face and Dabi stopped walking. Are you fucking kidding me? You get after me for not coming to visit, but you won't even stop by to say hi to Mom? Shoto's expression turned stony. It's different. I don't want to make things worse for her. I still look like him. Yeah, and I still got his eyes, but she doesn't attack me when I go visit her. Dabi narrowed his eyes. Wait, is that why you never used a fire in the first 2 rounds? I'm not going to use his power. Shoto looked angry. I'm going to be the best hero with only Mom's power. Bullshit, Dabi laughed. You've got to be kidding me. Endeavor is dead, Shoto. Villains killed him. You're really gonna let him keep holding you back like this? You're just worshipping a ghost at this point. Shoto scowled. I am not. Then use your fucking fire, Dabi challenged, lighting his own hand up with blue flames. That bastard's hurt us enough. I see why Karshan likes you so much, Shoto grumbled. I need to prepare for the next round. Thank you for the visit. Yeah, sure, Dabi said. Hey, where are Fuyumi and Natsuo sitting? I may as well give them a heart attack while I'm here. He ruffled Shoto's hair as his little brother practically pouted. Why did I think having you back would be fun again? Dabi laughed. No clue. Good luck in the next round, twerp. You're gonna need it. Kaminari didn't know whether he should approach the girls and apologize for accidentally helping with Mineta's prank, or if he should just keep his distance. They probably didn't even want to see him right now. Or not, considering that Tsu was heading straight for him. Denki put on what he hoped was an apologetic smile. Hi, Tsu. I'm sorry about... Tsu didn't even let him finish. Come with me. Figuring that he probably deserved whatever was coming his way, Denki followed along behind her with his head down. Tsu didn't explain anything as she led him through the labyrinth of tunnels. He was probably going to get jumped and beat up by other girls in the class, wasn't he? After what felt like way too many turns, Tsu stopped and turned to him. Stay here, I go get him. Denki felt his heart drop. Him? Wait, who's him? Izuku fiddled with his weapons as he held it in the supply closet waiting for Tsu to come back. She recognized him, he was pretty sure of that, but for some reason she hadn't called him anything other than Viridian and even offered to help him. It just didn't make sense. There was a soft knock on the door and then it opened and Tsu gestured for him to come out. He's just around that corner. Let me know if you need anything else. Before he could stop himself, Izuku reached out and grabbed her arm. Why are you helping me? I'm a vigilante. For all you know, I'm sneaking in. You saved my parents' lives. Tsu held his gaze seriously. If it wasn't for you, me and my siblings would probably be orphans right now, so if you say you have a reason to be here, that's enough for me. You saved my family, so I'm just helping my parents return the favor. Izuku swallowed thickly and let go of her arm. Thank you. Tsu gave him a small smile. Good luck. She walked away and Izuku took a deep breath, then turned the corner. Denki was standing, staring at the wall, but turned when he heard someone coming. When he saw Izuku, Denki's eyes widened and his jaw dropped as he looked him over from head to toe, taking in his entire vigilante outfit in all its glory. He could only hope Denki would actually help him and agree to save the fight for later. They didn't have time for a long confrontation right now, not when there were lives on the line. Izuku braced himself for the fallout as a slow grin spread across Denki's face. Dude, you totally lied. Oh my gosh, Denki finally found out that Izuku is Viridian. And Tsu definitely knows that that's Izuku. Also, Dabi actually meeting Shoto again after 10 years and then talking to each other was also really good. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 102 of Viridian the Green Guide, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!